we're on Kefalonia right now. We arrived in Agostoli the other day, and we were planning on sailing out today this morning, but the wind wasn't looking great, and so it looked like we were gonna have to wait till next Monday to sail out. But now the weather forecast is looking like we can leave tonight at 1 in the morning. So we're gonna do that. So we need to get into gear because we thought we were leaving in a week now. Agostoli has been a nice town. We've been here for a few days. It's a good place. I recommend it. It grew on me over these days. There's a nice gym. Went to. 40 bucks a month, 15 bucks a week. They have a sauna. Highly recommend Gymlands. I did get a package shipped. The post office was closed, so I went to this gym and I asked the lady that worked there, I was like, hey, will you mail this for me? That worked perfectly. The lady at Gymland here in Agostoli, totally mailing a package for me to Thessaloniki. Thank you so much. I don't even know her name. Before we really get into this video, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you can see more videos like this one. It was like, okay, we're gonna leave on Tuesday. Then Monday rolled around. I was like, dude, there's not gonna be any wind on Tuesday. We're not leaving Tuesday. And then it turned out that we were able to leave Wednesday. I mean, that's just how it is. Like, should I buy my return flight? It's like, no, buy a one-way and buy your return closer to the date. It doesn't bother me that much anymore. The main conflict when it comes to planning and sailing is when people have schedules. And that has to do more so with crew than with myself. It's about 1:30 in the morning. We slept for maybe an hour and a half. Good 90-minute for a single rim sesh.
Not sure really if I'm excited or slightly anxious about it, but I think altogether probably excited.
How much sailing have you done in your whole life?
So much sailing, in fact. Like, how many days have I been with you?
I think 4.
And 2 of those days we sailed.
The decision to sail tonight, I'm thrilled about. Definitely excited for that.
The first hour, it's pretty much all hands on deck, and then we move into the shifts. The thought was, okay, we'll motor for an hour, maybe 2 hours, and then once we're kind of out into the Ionian Sea, we'll start hitting that wind that's coming from the north, getting funneled down from Croatia, and then we'll be able to sail across on like a beam reach. So Jacob took the first watch, then it was maybe like 5 or 6 hours into it before we were actually able to put up the sails and start sailing. A sail this long, a 350-mile sail, you want to give yourself leeway, right? So you want to point up into the wind more so that then you can drift down to where you want to go if need be. If something were to go terribly wrong, without that leeway, we could potentially end up in Libya. We do not want to end up in Libya. I've heard they sell people there. We've been going for about 15 hours now. We've motored maybe about 5 of those hours, almost 74 miles, average of just under 5 knots, but we're sailing, which is good. There's been a small amounts of seasickness and small amounts of feeling uneasy on the boat, but I think it's much better now since we're sailing. I think people are feeling better. Jacob's sleeping, feeling better. And yeah, we've got like another 40 hours to go.
Woke up just as the wind was kind of picking up again. So we're back underway now, going around 5 knots, I think. And yeah, looking forward to a great sunset and some dinner later on.
It's so much nicer to be sailing than motoring.
It makes a huge difference also for the seasickness.
Yes.
You're not rolling around as much, and I don't know, even just the wind on my face makes a big difference as well.
Yeah. The wind is dying a little bit. Should pick up later in the day, in the afternoon, something like that. We're still moving about 3-4 knots, but with the wind and the waves, if it dies a bit, we get the boom slapping around a little bit, and so I'm gonna rig up a bit of a preventer to keep that from happening. The wind is still fickle. It is time to resort to calling the wind via instruments. Who wants what?
Yeah, of course it's not ideal to be going under 3 knots, but such is life. What are you gonna do?
I'm not hating being on the water in a boat, so don't really care how slow we're going.
All right, dinner time. We got chicken, mashed yam / sweet potatoes, and some sort of ginger mushroom onion sauce.
Actually, we're pretty well at 270 now.
Okay, just hold that and I'll let you know if I want you to go to the right or the left, okay? Willem was manning the helm. I wake up to the sound of a distressed Willem talking to Jacob, telling Jacob to do this and that. Big seas, maybe 2.5, 3 meter seas. It's like, okay, everybody calm down, just relax. Nothing bad is happening right now. It's just a little bit aggressive on the water. Let's head up some more. Willem, what's happening on the helm? Are you fighting it? Is it easy? Is it pulling to the left? Is it pulling to the right? It's like, okay, now that we know that, first we can adjust the sail, see if we can fix the helm so that it's balanced. So we reef the head sail. It's like, okay, it's a little bit better. Turns out we ended up needing to reef the mainsail, so I went up and reefed that. We need to bring the boom over the boat. So Jacob, I want you to haul in on the sheet to bring it in. And then Will, you'll probably have to head up a bit, okay? It was all good, but the anxiety was palpable. And to be able to be like, okay, just relax. It's okay. It's okay. Like, we're not taking on water. The boat's not sinking. I've been in Willem's position before where the boat's starting to act up in a way that you were not expecting. The wind is starting to pick up a little bit. Fear is setting in a little bit. Bear away just for a second to pick up some speed and then we'll go back up, okay? Just not exactly sure what to do. You're trying different things and it's not working. And now I've grown as a sailor and I've actually learned things. And so I was able to handle that situation that 1 year ago, a year and a half ago, I would not have been able to handle it in the way that I did. Had I gone up there and been like, oh my God, Willem, do this, Jacob, do that, then I would have contributed to the chaos and the anxiety, and it would have made everything worse. It was a nice lesson in if you approach something with a calm demeanor, you really can calm the whole situation down. You can de-escalate it all. And it just depends on how you approach it. We're almost exactly a day and a half in. We have gone almost exactly 200 miles as well, so we're keeping up great speed, great time. We're still sailing. Relatively soon we might have to motor a bit and then we could sail a bit, but it seems to be working out fine and dandy, and I would be absolutely pleased if we could sail the rest of the way. It seems like people are feeling a bit better. The wind has definitely calmed down. It was blowing like 23 knots consistently last night, and there was a lot of chundering going on. 130 miles left.
Feeling a little bit better than I was this morning.
One more full night.
Yeah, one more. It's not so bad. Could be worse.
Crew is pretty much seasick the whole way. We're gonna shake this reef out. Oh, how the weather changes sometimes. What was just ripping 23 knots all last night with, 2 meter, 6, 7 foot seas is now barely blowing. Let's go ahead and start the engine and start warming that up. And then here in a minute, we'll furl in the Genoa. Do some motor sailing. You've got the boot of Italy, and then you've got Sicily, the ball that it's kicking. In between Sicily and the boot, you've got pretty much a dead zone because of the mountains there. And then once you get past Sicily, you get wind from the northwest coming from France. We got to that, turned on the engine. This was night number 2, motored through. The majority of crew that I've had on, pretty much all of them, have been not experienced. In the very beginning, when it was Jackson, Tara, and I, it would have been nice to have somebody more experienced than me on board. I mean, it all worked out fine, and it worked out good this way because I learned a ton. I don't know, it's hard to say because I've never actually had somebody with a lot of sailing experience sail with me as crew. Solid. Well done. it might be that I'm like intimidated of having somebody come sail with me that has more experience than me, because then they'd be like, what are you doing? Or something, I don't know. With crew that is completely inexperienced, you get to teach them, and I really like teaching people. You get the same feeling of achievement and of fulfillment that your student gets in making an achievement.
Wow, that is the craziest thing I have ever seen. I've seen some weird things in Joshua Tree with this guy, but nothing like this.
They see the progression in themselves, and they feel satisfied for making an accomplishment, and as the teacher, you get that same experience again. The other issue you run into with new crew, obviously, is seasickness. I mean, everybody gets seasick, but the more experienced you are, the less you get it, generally speaking. The vast majority of people I've had on the boat have been absolutely great and are like troopers, and really, you know, if it's uncomfortable, they just suck it up and deal with it. Like Jacob and Willem, they were both great. I mean, I can see it. I've experienced it. I know what pain they were in and the discomfort they were in, and they just dealt with it. We got to do sunrise under motor, and that was beautiful, right next to Sicily. It was absolutely gorgeous. We're 23 miles from Malta. We've been motoring now for, I would say, approximately 10 hours today. So 18 hours so far this trip, I think we've been motoring. Once we got into that channel, we hit that northwesterly wind. We've got almost 20 knots of wind. We've got 8 miles to go, and we're gonna switch to a broad reach here. So we're just gonna drop the mainsail and sail on just the Genoa. It'll be easier to manage the boat, and we got plenty of wind that we'll be able to keep up a good speed. But we're almost to Malta, and we're finishing it out strong. Malta is an epic island to sail into, because you sail into Valletta, which is the old town, and Valletta it's a cool looking place, man. As you're sailing in, you see the domes of the cathedrals, and you see the wall, and it's all built out of, like, I think it's limestone, so it's this beautiful golden color. It's epic. It really felt as if we were sailing into Bravos in Game of Thrones. Like, it feels old. This is the most epic place I've ever sailed into. Better than Istanbul. Mwah. Absolutely beautiful. After such an epic sail, a 350-mile sail, to then have that is like, we're here and we see it, and then we come in and drop the sail and we motor in and we drop the anchor. But we had a legit celebration dinner, bottle of wine, some steaks, and really cooked it up good for the guys as a celebration and congratulation on the achievement of sailing to Malta.
Well, that's solid. That's nice.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and share it with a friend. Big love. Stay hydrated.